Hello everyone, welcome to or back to my channel. Today I decided I was feeling a bit tired of my persona. And while I do occasionally show my face, most of the time I really just don't want to. So today I will be giving my persona and other things a small update. So first things first was deciding what I wanted my channel to be, how I wanted it to look, and how I wanted to present myself. I really disliked the background I used for my videos, and it was just something I added to give my videos more visual interest since a floating head is a bit boring on its own. So I found some ideas of frames that I really resonated with and decided to try and make my own version. Took a lot of trial to get there, but I eventually found a version I was happy with. After that was done, I moved on to giving my Sona a much needed makeover. The floating head is a bit boring and not really my favorite. Also, I only made 3 moves for it, which is very limiting, looking back on it now. I decided to start gathering references and images that I felt matched my energy and vibe. I started with just the head to figure out how I wanted the face and the headpiece to look before moving on to the outfit. I made about 10 different options altogether before making my final decision on the clothing, and next was colors. I wasn't sure how closely I wanted my Sona to look compared to me. I thought about doing a fun color for the skin or even colored hair, but decided to keep it closer to my actual appearance because I ended up looking a little bit too much like Storm when I gave myself white hair with the fur trim coat, and it just wasn't working out for me. After deciding on the look, it was time to make a hefty amount of emotions to draw my mini me in. For this part, I literally just found a bunch of emotion reference sheets on Pinterest and just selected certain images from each sheet that I wanted to recreate. I ended up with about 20 final emotions. Once that was done, it was time to redraw them with my Sona. This was honestly the longest part. Why? Because midway through, I felt like my outfit was too wintry for all year round and decided to make 2 versions of my Sona, a warm weather one and a cold weather one. And yes, it did take forever because I had to redraw everything with a new outfit and even a new headpiece. So yeah, so will I ever do that again? Probably yes, because it was actually really fun to give my Sona different outfits, and for some reason I like to make things challenging for myself, even though I really don't want to do it, because I know I will do it regardless. And while I was doing the different poses and emotions, I accidentally ended up making a 3rd variation of my Sona that is literally just me as a lion. Now, in case you're watching this and wondering, Zion, how do I make my own Sona? Well, the answer is really simple. First, you put together a bunch of things that you enjoy or like, or you feel describe your aesthetic. For example, I picked a lion for a couple of reasons. 1, I love lions. They're one of my favorite animals. 2, typically when I introduce myself to people, I say, my name is Zion, like lion, but with a Z. Mainly because people always say Zion instead of Zion. And last but not least, I'm a Leo. And while I don't believe in astrology, it's kind of a funny coincidence regarding the other 2 facts. Also, my favorite color is yellow and lions are yellow, so it just kind of works out really well. But when it comes to Sonas, a lot of people just do literal versions of themselves or who they wish they could be. I guess mine is a bit of both. I've always wanted to have animal ears and a tail, but I'm also still a human, so maybe I'm just secretly a furry. I'm not a furry. But I would absolutely love to try on some of the costumes. They're always really well made and surprisingly intricate. Anyways, when designing your mini self, figure out how you want to present yourself to the world. Include features that highlight both your personality or fun facts about you. I've literally seen people just do straight up animals with glasses or make themselves into futuristic cyberpunk people or wizards from like fantasy worlds. Or you literally can just draw yourself in any sort of art style that you think is really fun. You also never have to limit yourself to one Sona. You can make as many as you want. Play around with ideas and ask friends and family what are key things about you that stand out to them and use that as inspiration for your design. For example, you could ask them, what are some things that remind you of me? And if there's something that everyone mentions, whether it be like, oh, whenever I see a rose, I think of you. Maybe, I don't know, include roses in your design, something in that line if that's something you want to do. Or if they're like, I always think of you when I see Spider-Man. Maybe make your Sona into your own version of Spider-Man. Make a spider Sona. It really can be whatever you want it to be or something special about yourself. Anyways, here are the final illustrations I made. I of course have 2 sheets because of the different outfits and will eventually add more to the list, but for now I have around 20, and yes, I did take a couple out from the original emote sheet simply because I was just really tired of drawing mini me so much. Lastly, I put everything together, the frame, my character, the background, just to make sure it all looked good. However, my only issue was the frame blocking too much of the art, so I did have to crop it out a bit, which kind of sucked. It's like when you do a good job in anatomy and then you have to cover it all up with clothes. But that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you like the updated look because I definitely do, and I shall see you guys next time. Bye!